So does everybody have a copy of the site map? I will walk you through the tenants that are under construction, and I'll give you some status updates on the tenants not yet under construction. So if you start in the left-hand bottom corner, lot 1, it's an apartment complex, a luxury apartment complex under construction by the O'Reilly family, O'Reilly Auto Parts out of Springfield, Missouri, Pat O'Reilly. He's done a number of projects in Kansas City. He's done a lot of projects throughout the state, but one of the projects in Kansas City, he redeveloped the Folgers Coffee Building. So anybody that's familiar with that, it's a very nice upscale apartment complex. This will have high-end finishes, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, and so that construction's underway, and we hope by the end of the year next year that'll be open. The next lot 2 is the golf venue. We are getting closer and closer to having the golf venue completed, the transaction completed. We still have some financial due diligence we have to do on the developer. We have to verify that the debt and the equity's in place and the construction costs are in hand. But once all that's verified, we'll be able to announce who the golf developer is. Under the master development agreement, just to give you a little bit of background, before anybody can start construction, they've got to have a guaranteed maximum price from a contractor. That contractor's got to have a performance bond on it. So that, going to Pat O'Reilly, so if the apartments cost $30 million, and the contractor says, I'll guarantee that price at $30 million, even if that contract goes if that contractor were to fail and go under, that project would be completed. So long as we have A, debt, plus B, equity, equals C, the total construction cost, and we have a performance bond on the contractor, we're assured that the project will be completed and will get built. So it's spelled out in the master development agreement. It's spelled out with each of the tenants I talk about. And so on the golf venue, we're in the process of verifying the debt, the equity, the design, the costs, but we're getting very close on the golf venue. Lots 3, 4A, and 4B, that may change a little bit in how it looks. Once we started vertical construction, all of a sudden people started to believe in the project, that the project was really going to happen. And so we've had a lot more interest, a lot more phone calls. So although this was the original concept the land planners put down on paper, that could change. We may make it more dense. We may add office, could add other things where we'd have retail or restaurants on the first floor and something above. So lots 3, 4A, and 4B, I've got multiple proposals. We're going through those proposals now. We're verifying debt and equity, construction costs, but it may not look like what this looks like on this paper today. Lot 5 are 2 Westin hotels. Aloft by Westin and Element by Westin. And those hotels really set the tone for the quality of the development. These aren't budget inns, these aren't no-tell motels, these are Westin hotels. And so it raises the quality of the project and raises the quality of the hotel, and it also helps them get a higher quality tenant for the rest of the project by going with Westin hotels rather than a lesser brand. Nothing wrong with the Courtyard by Marriott, but it isn't as nice as the Westin hotels we're building. Lot 6A is slotted to be a grocery store. We're under negotiations with 2 different grocers. We have, the interesting problem with grocery is, what's the right size? With Amazon Prime and all these young kids ordering their toilet paper at 7 in the morning and getting their toilet paper delivered at 3 in the afternoon, I drove to West Des Moines and sat down with Hy-Vee Hy-Vee says, we don't know what size grocery store to build anymore. And they are convinced 150,000 square feet isn't the right size, but they don't know what the right size is. So if you've been following grocery stores in the business, Hy-Vee just launched a 15,000 square foot grocery store. They don't know if that's the right size, but they did their first one, and they're gonna let it open and see how a 15,000 square foot grocery store operates in the new Amazon era. Anything that is not perishable, these kids order in the morning and have it at their house that afternoon, and Hy-Vee really doesn't know how that's gonna impact all grocery stores, not just Hy-Vee, but all grocery stores in the future. 6B would be a multi-tenant office building, trying to do retail and restaurants on the first floor. Jumping up to Armour, Lot 10 is under construction, and that's where the new Burger King is being built. Sarah Copeland's here, and she's guaranteeing me that it's going to be a really nice Burger King. Lot 9B, that is the 38,000 square foot medical office building. It's open, it's busy, it's bringing tens of thousands of people to the site already this year. Lot 9A is where Burger King currently sits. As soon as Burger King moves, and that could be as early as October of this year, we'll start construction on a new Starbucks, have a signed lease with Starbucks to go on 9A. Lot 8 is also under construction. That's Old Chicago Pizza. We're hoping that that's going to open mid-October. Not labeled, but clearly an anchor for the site is the massive jewelry store that is doing very well. So that's right next to Lot 8. Lot 7, it's only a 1.1 acre site. We've got a lot of interest in Lot 7. Because it's only 1.1 acres, not in a panic to do something. And again, under the master development agreement, city has to know what you're going to build. City has to know what it's going to cost. And then we have to know that you got the debt and the equity to make sure you can actually build what you say you're going to build. So for going back to 6B and Lot 7, and maybe even in Lots 3, 4A, and 4B, lots of interest, not necessarily the quality of tenants we want yet. So, for example, I've got a popcorn company that wants to come and open up a popcorn store. Popcorn store is nice, but really doesn't add the kind of quality of tenant that we want to do yet. We've also got a candy store you've never heard of that would like to build on site. So we continue to evaluate, but things are, once vertical construction started, the phone really started to ring. People really believe that this is happening. And so we've got a lot more options, which is giving us the opportunity to be creative and make it a nicer development, make it a more dense development, and protect the quality at the same time. So that's kind of the update. With that, last time I spoke, there were like 40 minutes of questions. So I'll open it up for questions, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Oh, wow.
You said Old Chicago opens mid-October?
Mid-October. It's a race to see who opens first, Burger King or Old Chicago.
Justin.
You're correct.
On your apartments, have they given you a price range on what they're looking to achieve?
Okay, my excuse is I'm 66 years old. Have I seen those numbers? Yes. Do I remember those numbers? No. Are they less than one light downtown Kansas City, Missouri? Yes. but these are designed to be high-end luxury apartments. And their target market, there are 5,000 highly paid people at Cerner. North Kansas City Hospital has their fair share. There's 1,000 employees at North Kansas City Hospital. I think Harris has 800 employees. I think Pat O'Reilly's apartments, 240 apartments. So you really, just from those three employers, don't have to capture 5% of those three employers, and these apartments are full. And what sold people on this site, and if you've never done it, I'd encourage you to do it. At 7:30 in the morning, go sit in the Burger King parking lot. And it's just constant left turn, left turn, left turn into North Kansas City Hospital and the Cerner. And so the hotel developers, as well as the apartment developers, think there's a captive market for hotel business and for residential. Yes, sir.
You know the, off the top of your head, the mix of unit types in apartments, 3-bed, 2-bed, 1-bed?
So there will be more 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom than anything else. My recollection is, if Pat O'Reilly has any studios, there are very few studios. What I think his market is, he's going after 2 unmarried kids, say 2 women who work at Cerner, that want to be close to Cerner, but don't want to have the expense of a 1-bedroom all to themselves, so that they'll share a 2-bedroom apartment and split the rent.
Who's the contractor that you're working with?
So after we did the road and the infrastructure, okay, let's say I go get a hotel developer. That hotel developer then secures the land from us, and he picks out his architect, his engineer, his contractor. Now, we review, the people involved, and we make sure that it's a quality project, but we don't pick the contractor. So, for example, Brinkman, I know, is the contractor for the hotels, but there's a totally different contractor for Old Chicago, and there's a third contractor for Burger King, but those individual owners pick those contractors, those architects, those engineers.
Between the hotels, I think there was supposed to be a conference center concept. Can you explain how that might be used?
So there will be a conference center attached to both hotels. So one hotel is an A-Loft by Weston, the other is an Element by Weston. And so you can see literally where the dot is for lot 5A. That's the conference center. The last time I looked at the plans, it was a 5,000 square foot conference center. It's not designed to compete with Bartle Hall. It's designed for, pardon me, if there's a group in from, for Cerner, say from the London Hospital was here last year, they could hold meetings where their people are staying. Right now, visitors to Cerner are staying downtown Kansas City, Missouri. They're staying on the plaza, and so they lose a lot of time commuting. So we intend for this to be high-quality hotels with very good access to the Cerner campus.
You have assurance that Cerner won't move south?
Well, just that Cerner invested millions of dollars of new investment in this building, and this is their innovation center. So, no, I don't see Cerner ever leaving this. They've got too much invested here.
Never happened.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I think you mentioned it when you spoke last about the hotels putting in a basketball court for some of the travel universities. Is that still in the plan?
We wanted to do that, but the operating expenses to heat and pool and insure became too much for the hotels. And then, to be really blunt, all of a sudden, we've got a fairly constrict site. We've got a lot more development that wants to go. I wish I could stretch this site for another 15, 20 acres. We could do a lot more development, but we're pretty constricted now. And so we didn't want to give up the mix of different restaurants and different entertainment venues for a use that might only be 6 or 7 times a year. Yes, Mayor?
You have any idea why I go by down there where the Chicago Pizza is every day? Some days you'll see them working there and the next day they're not turning it down. It seems to me like Burger King is putting theirs up a lot faster than pizza place. Why?
Actually, Mayor, I asked that question because I'm on site 3-4 times a week. And so I know the owners of Old Chicago. So I meet with the city every Tuesday. After the meeting with the city every Tuesday, I go to the Old Chicago developer's office. And I say, hey, everything okay? Any problems? And they have no complaints, no problems, but they've run into 2 issues. One is, let's say their ovens were supposed to be delivered tomorrow. And it's Monday, and the ovens are supposed to be installed on Monday, and the ovens didn't show up on Friday. So they have to send people home because the equipment, whether it's the mechanical, electrical, didn't show up. And so what they had slotted for that day, but they've assured me that they're on budget, on time, schedule's great, but they said that anytime you build anything, not everybody's going to deliver when they say they're going to deliver. And so they have to send people home because they don't have the right equipment or the right building supplies. Hey, it was great to be here. Thanks for having me back. Hopefully, another 6 months, Rich will have me back, and I'll be able to give you the rest of the announcements and have the site finished. Thanks again.